On this week's episode of BJ in the Morning, we are going to talk a little bit about us.
Us?
Yeah, just us.
Let's go?
And then this is the part with the music plays.
Yeah.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Welcome to BJ in the Morning. I'm Juan.
And I'm Brendan.
And we're back, baby.
I mean, we didn't go anywhere.
We didn't go anywhere.
According to you, the listeners/viewers.
But I was gone.
You were gone for like 3 weeks.
And it was horrible.
For you.
Yes.
Great for me. And my gas mileage.
I bet it was.
It was also good for your gas mileage because you didn't have your car with you.
Sure. I don't even know if my car starts. I don't even know if my car even has gas.
You're gonna find out tomorrow morning when you go to work.
And watch, tomorrow's gonna be the day I'm running late.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, shit.
That's
my car.
Like the car from Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. But we're back.
We did it.
And it feels, strange because when I was gone, every time I leave, I feel like that's become my new routine.
Like you just come back to do the podcast a couple times, then you just dip out.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, that feels like my new routine out there.
Yeah.
And when I come back, it's strange to be home. Is that weird?
I wouldn't know. I haven't left that long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my longest work trip, well, I guess my longest work trip was like a month or a month and a half, but I came back every weekend.
Yeah.
Because I was only like in Phoenix. You know? Like I would just go up there for the Monday through Friday and then come home for Saturday and then go back Sunday night.
Right.
So it broke it up enough, but I haven't been gone like an extended amount of time like that.
Right.
Except a vacation maybe, but that's different.
Yeah. It's very different.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that became my new normal.
Mm-hmm.
And like coming home, I'm like, oh, all right, so now I have to go to work tomorrow. Don't want to do that. I don't have to walk 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like
you gotta drive 40.
I gotta drive. I gotta put gas. I gotta go.
You gotta
use
make
my
your
brain.
own food.
Yeah. What?
What?
What do you mean I'm not eating cup of noodle?
What do you mean? There's no continental breakfast?
Well, there is. Well, that's a whole other story.
Oh, okay.
There is no continental nothing.
They don't do continental anymore.
But Brendan.
Yeah.
What we're here to do today.
And
I thought it was a fabulous idea.
Thank you. I came up with it literally when I texted it to you.
Yeah. Was to talk a little bit about us.
Yeah.
But not like how we met, which is we've talked about before.
Yeah, go back. Listen
episode 1 and episode 1 of the first generation.
Yeah. If you can find it, let us know so we can take it down.
But we're going to talk about us and our creative journey.
Yeah, creative journey endeavors.
Well, you know how like everything has to be a journey nowadays?
You got to just enjoy the journey, man.
You just got to put one foot in front of the other.
Life's a path. Walk it, man. Oh, boy. Hey, dude.
Hey, man.
You see that tree? That's part of your journey, man.
That's your journey. That is your journey, dude.
You better take it or leaf it. You know what I'm saying? That's the dumbest thing I've ever said.
Take it or leaf it, dude.
That's the name of the episode. It's not because it'll make no sense.
Take it or leaf it.
That's when we do our Earth Day episode.
Oh, it's coming up. Or it passed.
Isn't it in June?
I have no clue.
It's that Flag Day. I don't know. There's a day for
I don't
everything.
know. There's so many days.
The day we're recording this is St. Patrick's Day, which is so funny to me.
Are you wearing green? You are wearing green.
I got
I'm
green
not.
hat. I got green shoes. Put your Crocs back on. They're green.
Yeah, agreed. Should I show them off?
Do you really want to?
I don't know.
They're pretty dope. He's got Buzz Lightyear Crocs on right now. Buzz Lightyear.
To the rescue.
Everyone's just looking at your legs now.
I know. They're like, what the hell is that?
Oh, man. Why did I click on this episode?
Why do we got Sasquatch up in this episode?
He's a friend of the show. We've talked about
Sasquatch?
That. Yeah, Sasquatch. Bigfoot.
My man?
Yeah.
My man's?
Your man's.
Yeah.
What about Sasquatch?
Sasquatch.
You remember Sasquatch?
I do.
We found him one day on TikTok while we were trying to find ideas for our episode.
Yeah.
And then I fell in love with him.
He's pretty awesome. I haven't seen him since. Though.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great. Never again.
All right. So our creative journey,
man.
Leaf journey.
Happy Leif Erikson Day.
So basically, what we're going to talk about today,
what we're talking about,
is our life story.
Our life story
About discovering our love and passion for movies,
filmmaking, digital creation,
photography,
art, if you will. Will you?
I will.
Okay. This is my favorite. I'm getting a sidetrack, even though it does piss people off when we sidetrack at the top of the episode.
Yeah.
Sorry to the one listener who pointed it out, because we do it. ADD.
It's gonna happen.
But anytime you come back from a trip, the first episode is always like, so it feels so different.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's because we haven't done it in 3 weeks. It's like all the jokes you've thought of in the last 3 weeks, go.
Coming out now.
Do it.
What'd you think of?
Everything.
Leaf.
Leaf. Would you make like a tree
and get out of here?
But yeah, anyways, we're gonna talk about our creative journey, man. Our journey.
Yeah, man.
The joke's done.
Right,
we got
it's
to.
over. It's over.
So I think we kind of discovered as we were going through like things we remember from our lives, which for me is not a lot because, trauma,
right?
Anxiety, depression. A lot of my memory is just gone. But I can tell you a lot about the moments that kind of led me to like where I am now and like how I've gone to college for filmmaking and cinematography, and I've multiple times.
Right.
But there's a lot of different things, and there's one thing I want to talk about that I didn't put on the list beforehand, because I think it'll be funny to talk about, and the fact that it is from such a long time ago now, it just shows my character as someone with so much anxiety. It makes sense. I want to be behind the camera and not in front of it.
Right.
So I remember in elementary school before I moved to Arizona, so before the year 2000.
In the year 2000.
But way back in the day, I was in like choir or something, like singing as an elementary school kid. We did shows, pageants, whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
And we were doing a whole thing about like Disney and like Wizard of Oz and all these kind of different things. And they wanted me to be the Cowardly Lion. And I put the costume on. And I just remember saying, I am not doing this as a child. If you want to take that as you will about me and my anxiety. So I got to be a Mouseketeer instead.
I can see little Brendan wearing a little lion outfit.
It wasn't a little one. I'm saying it was head to toe onesie. It had the little things.
Awesome.
And I was so embarrassed by it, even as a kid, that I said, I am not doing this. And you know how dumb I was for that? I could have been a star.
You were
Cowardly Lion.
Cowardly Lion.
Yeah, and I didn't do it. And let me tell you how many times still to this day that I can point out where I'm like, that was the start of this.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Like, that's embarrassing as heck. But yeah, I remember, I'll never forget that.
Here's where the school system failed you.
Okay. Everywhere.
They should have said, too bad.
Suck it up.
You got the part.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. And then I didn't do theater again for a while.
Don't be a pussy.
There was another
8-year-old kid. Don't be a pussy.
I was younger than 8.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was little. I don't know. But there was another show in elementary school I was in when I moved to Arizona, and I was accountant number 2. And you know what I did? I walked on stage with my briefcase and my sunglasses, bowed, and walked off stage.
What?
Yeah.
Like that was your decision?
No.
Oh.
That was the role.
Okay.
And I played it up. I was accountant number 2.
I bet you did.
I don't remember it though. But I know the show was like it was like a Jerry Springer-esque type of like fairy tale. I remember thinking this is Shrek.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if Shrek was out then. Probably.
Mm-hmm.
It was the same vibe. But anyways,
no, I don't think it was. But well, if we're talking, another sidetrack, if we're talking about,
it is our past.
It is our past,
things that
and
are
like
relevant.
the beginning of our creativity.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If we're talking about elementary school shows and stuff, we did like a whole assembly, like sing off thing.
You sang off.
Yeah.
You sang off.
Like the classes.
Uh-huh.
So like our music teacher picked a song for each class, and our parents came and watched, and like the beginning was all the classes singing the same song. So we had to learn 2 songs.
Oh.
So we had to learn the first song with choreography.
Oh, even worse.
And then we had to learn our class song with choreography.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where the video is, but my
There's
parents have video.
I need to see it.
And what's funny is that I still remember the first song for the whole class.
Do you remember the choreography?
It was like, a better you, a better me, something as you can be, like something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, but the class song that we had to do and learn was like a jazzy type of song. And I remember we had to start like in a V formation with our backs to the audience, and we had to do this little hip thing and like snap.
Yeah.
And then we were wearing sunglasses, and we had to turn. All I remember is that I felt so stupid that I wasn't even singing. I was just going with the choreography.
Yeah.
At like bare minimum effort.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the first time I was ever embarrassed. Probably.
But I think that's a good place to jump from. Is like, as a kid, everything embarrasses you, or nothing embarrasses you. You know, but I think we were not always the loud kids. You know, like you and me specifically. Like I don't remember like really getting in trouble for being loud and obnoxious as much as just being like distracted all the time, like when we were in classes together and stuff, because we would talk amongst each other and not pay attention to a single thing that the teacher was saying. But I can like really remember like 7th and 8th grade really like kind of changing things. But like 6th grade for me was before you and I met, because we met end of 7th grade ish, beginning of 8th, somewhere around there, right? I don't really remember. 7th grade math. 7th grade math. Second period. In the dingy buildings out by the field. Yeah. The scary ones. Yeah. Anytime I think of those buildings, it's raining. In my head. Lightning, you know, in the establishing shot.
Building.
In the establishing shot. But like 6th grade, I wrote some really long short stories. And I say really long because like as a 6th grader, I was writing like, I don't know, like 10 to 15 page short stories. Like front and back, lined paper, handwritten.
But like 5 words per line.
No. I'm
just kidding.
But I will never forget. Like I wrote this entire story, and I don't know where the idea came from, but I think it stemmed from like my want to be a fighter pilot as a kid. But it was a story about aliens invading Earth. And it was this whole like, he's the top pilot kind of dude, you know?
Yeah.
And he's got to save the planet from the aliens attacking. I can't tell you much more about it because I don't really remember any of it. But it definitely was like, I was watching Star Wars and like those kind of movies. So it was all like kind of that vibe.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to be a writer when I was younger. Like, that was my dream. I wanted to write stories. And that was the first, like, time I actually wrote something that was, like, long. Like, I wrote 3, like, parts to this story. And gave them to my teacher to read, and she never gave them back.
Oh. That's rude. Did she ever read them?
She did. She said they were really good for, 6th grader. But I spent a lot of time on them. They were really fun, and it was like really cool to like do something like that because I was always drawing or doodling and like writing like little comic strips type of deal.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to be a writer when I was in 6th grade. That was like my dream at the time.
Yeah. For me, it's gonna sound really weird, but I didn't have any dreams. I didn't have any.
You're like,
aspirations.
I'm just here.
I'm just here, but like
your background character number 2.
But also at the same time, my life was martial arts, right? Mm-hmm. So that was my life. I didn't know anything else. I didn't know that I could go be a photographer. I didn't know I could go be.
Well, at this point in the story, you still don't know that.
No, exactly. Right.
At this point in the story, it's just martial arts in school.
Yeah. So I didn't know like anything else, So like I didn't. If you asked me when I was from the ages of, 5 and 12, if you asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I would say,
alive,
an Olympic Taekwondo fighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I didn't have that outlet to other things. Yeah. Not because it wasn't given to me. It was like
you just didn't branch out.
I didn't really care to do anything else. You know what
I
mean?
know like most of like elementary and middle school I was playing soccer. But I was really getting more into like watching movies and like I was playing a lot of video games on my Super Nintendo. My N64, like I liked those a lot. And I'll never forget like playing The Legend of Zelda as a kid because that really led to like my want to write stories because I loved the story of Legend of Zelda. Like, from what I can remember, at least,
I remember watching movies, and I got really into like older movies, mostly because of my parents.
Yeah,
and it was mostly the kind of thing like if my dad made a quote or said something dumb from a funny movie.
Like 75% of the time your dad's making funny quotes. Like he's always got one in the chamber.
Yeah,
ready
and
to go.
It's like if I just looked at him weird, he'd be like, ugh. All right, sit down. You're going to watch this movie. You're going to watch Spaceballs.
Yeah.
And when you're done with it, you're going to watch it again.
Yeah.
And once you memorize all the funny quotes, then we can speak. You know what I mean? Like, but it was like, hey, like, that was a good movie. And I started watching all kinds of movies with my parents. Like, it's when I watched Back to the Future. It's when I watched Jurassic Park and just all kinds of stuff. Sci-fi.
Yeah, just from like the 70s and 90s kind of range.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I had like kind of the same kind of thing. I know my mom worked late on Fridays most of the time when I was growing up. But like there were some Fridays where she didn't. And I just remember always going to Blockbuster with her or my dad. Like going through movies and I'm like always wanting to play video games or whatever, or, like rent video games when Blockbuster started renting video games,
Yeah.
But there became a time where all I wanted to do was rent a new movie, like a movie I'd never seen before. So I think Blockbuster had like a huge hand in like my parents saying, "You're gonna watch this movie.
Yeah.
You're gonna watch this movie. Oh, now you're gonna watch this movie." Or like if I couldn't find something or the movie I didn't want, they'd recommend something. And I remember going through phases of like all the Indiana Jones, all the Alien movies, all the Predator movies, and I'm like, "You're letting me watch these?" Like I'm a child. But like that's how I found Psycho. Like when I was a little older, of course. But Jurassic Park was my favorite movie since I was a kid. Like one of my favorites. It didn't scare me as a kid.
Yeah.
My mom likes to say that The Mask with Jim Carrey scared the crap out of me.
Really?
But Jurassic Park, nothing
Nothing, huh?
Nothing at all.
But The Mask?
The Mask scared the crap out of me.
The Mask was pretty scary, not going to lie.
Yeah, but now you look at it and you're like, how?
Yeah.
Like, how? But yeah, dude, I think Blockbuster like really had a hand in like learning about movies, and I got to a point where I was renting movies, like the same movies over and over again, to study them to an extent.
To learn how to
learn what made them so memorable, you know, what made them so popular, what made them classics, if you would, you know.
Yeah. So I think now's a good time to fast forward, let's say about 10 years. 10
years from when we were like 6th grade to out of high school?
You think 10 years? 5 years.
Are you going from elementary school to high school? Where are you going?
We're going to YouTube. YouTube came out.
Shit. Yeah, I was going to look up when
YouTube
came out. I don't remember the year. I think it was like 2004.
You want me to do it? I'll do it.
But yeah, I think YouTube...
If it came out in 2004, then this is the same time that we're talking about.
Yeah,
like
but
it
might have been 2006. But I think it was between then.
When did YouTube...
Google, tell us when YouTube came out.
2005.
Okay, so I was right in the middle.
February 14th.
Wow.
2005.
Wow.
Same day as Arizona's birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, Arizona became a state that day, that year.
That day, that year.
So 2005, that was 8th grade for us, right?
Yes.
7th, 8th grade, 8th grade.
8th grade.
So I don't think it was really that popular at the time still.
No.
So we can just say that we knew YouTube existed.
Yes.
The first YouTube video I ever remember watching was Lazy Sunday. SNL shorts.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Lazy Sunday, wake up in the late afternoon. The Chronicles of Narnia. You don't remember you know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember.
You remember the social studies? I think it was social studies teacher we had, maybe English teacher we had. She was like a younger lady.
Was she hot?
I couldn't tell. Anyway, she showed us that video in class. But YouTube was a thing. It came out. We had heard about it, didn't know much about it.
Yeah.
But then high school, I think, was when we really got into YouTube and what it was and what it could be. We were not smart enough to really figure out how to use YouTube at the time, but I think that was because we were so young.
Yeah.
Yes, there are younger YouTubers now. There were younger ones then. But like we didn't have any equipment, we didn't have computers to edit video, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I know for me, I watched YouTube whenever I could. When I was like sneaking going on Myspace with, you know, the family laptop or whatever.
Myspace.
You know?
Myspace.
Yeah, back in the day. But I definitely remember watching Smosh videos in sophomore year. Because we both started taking TV production sophomore year.
Yeah. So when that happened, it was our freshman year that the TV productions class from that year were like, hey, we need volunteers to sign up for this class. And I think it was like, if we don't get students to take this class, they were going to close the class or cancel the class. I feel like the following year, though, they had the most amount of TV production students, right? Like it survived the rest of the
I think,
the 4
they had
years.
Classes every period, and my class was pretty full. Like, you were not in my class.
No, so you were like, I'm taking that class.
Yeah, right.
And we were still friends, but we weren't like best friends at the time. So I was like, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Great.
Maybe I shall.
I shall. But that funny story. That's where I met Devin in that class. He was in my.
And then me and Chris were
class.
in the other one, the one before yours, right?
Yep.
After? Before.
Mm-hmm.
There was Prank Wars. I remember that between the two. because we would leave shit on the laptop or the computers for you, and then you would leave stuff for us, and like it got really violent for a little while.
The Flash animation. The hyperlink to the Flash. Click here.
Because we had to kind of hide it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that bad. But they were pretty dumb.
I remember I printed out.
Oh, some shit's going to come out right now.
I printed out a paper that I drew of like a cow with like a huge schlong. And then I took a cutout of like Chris's face.
Yeah.
And I put it on the
I remember this. I swear.
And I printed it out and I put it on all the computer screens in that little room.
In that cubby, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh my God, this is the funniest thing I've ever done in my life.
Even
sure
though
enough, we got in trouble for it. Yeah.
Because the next class was not the one with him in it. So yeah, we weren't allowed to use Flash animation after that.
Yeah, it was horrible.
But I definitely think that year was when we really started like trying to make YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And we had no idea what we were doing. We had like a really, really cheap camera.
Who got the first camera? You.
Artie. Yeah, Artie had the camera.
It wasn't the DVD one, was it?
No. It was a little flip camera. I don't remember what it was called. But,
okay.
I do remember.
Camcorder?
Yeah.
Like a little square.
And it was digital.
Yeah.
So it was really crappy. Like the quality was real bad.
Yeah.
But we made what I think was our first YouTube video that is still on the internet.
It is.
And it's called Hacked.
I wasn't in this one.
You were not. It was me, Devin, and Artie, and that's it. And it was all about someone's MySpace getting hacked. And it was like us trying to make like a spy type of like action movie. I'm sure this isn't the first one we made, like first video we made, but it's definitely the first one I remember like really like putting what we were learning to the test. Except for lighting. We were like, lighting? Who needs it?
Yeah.
There was bad lighting except for one shot that has good lighting. And still when you watch the video, you're like, oh, don't look that bad. The rest of it, horrible. But we were definitely making a lot of things at the time. Like just trying to make something.
But so you got a camera after that? Or was it?
I didn't get a camera until I graduated.
Oh, okay.
Because we were still using the school's cameras.
TV production cameras. So I got a camera once we started doing projects together. And we were just doing everything with that thing, man. It sometimes wasn't even a creative.
We were just shooting our lives.
It was like sneaking out of the house. Gotta be quiet.
And we're yelling. I also remember during this time I was making like, because I didn't really know what Flash was, I was making like MS Paint stop motion videos. Like a lot. Like bad ones. Because I loved like Newgrounds and like the other one, Mini Clip, I think what it was. They had like all the Flash videos and I really wanted to do that. But it was bad, so I never did anything with it.
You know what's funny is that I made a video called Survivor Man.
I remember Survivor Man.
And I made it. I
you were alone.
The night I was at John Jones's house.
Oh, that's right.
Stayed the night. We made Survivor Man. I did the editing on
Windows Movie
Maker. It took me probably twice as long to do it because Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah, if you've ever used Windows Movie Maker, you know.
But
don't.
I didn't do anything with that.
Yeah. I do remember anytime we hung out with John after that, it was like, we should make another Survivor Man video.
Yeah. But I remember making it, being so proud of it, and I like showed it to everybody, but I didn't put it on YouTube. I didn't do any of that stuff. It's like none of that even crossed my mind.
Do you remember like the story we came up with like years later based on this kind of conversation? Where it was like, what if it was two dudes out in surviving the wilderness? They're rivals and they run into each other and they need to survive with each other.
Yeah.
Still think that's a great idea. Nobody steal it. Fucking copyright at PJ in the morning.
Just bleep it out.
Just you remember this really cool
yeah, I do.
But I still remember watching that video on the camera's viewfinder because that's the only, like, I remember you showing me like, oh, check this out. Or no, it was on your phone. I swear you had it on your phone.
I put it on Photo Bucket.
You did?
Oh my God. We were just talking about Photo Bucket before this episode started. I put it on Photo Bucket.
And you would watch it on your little crappy flip phone or whatever. And you'd be like, check this out. Check this out. He's holding up a screen like this. Check this out. And you're like, why do you have that shirt around your head?
Yeah. Oh my God. That was, oh my God.
But it was legit just you like in the side yard of his house in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So like that was the whole joke, was like, I got helicoptered out and I was making this Survivor like wilderness man show.
Yeah.
But my character wasn't a
survivor
outdoorsy person.
Yeah.
So it had like little like so John was the cameraman, and then it turned out me like cutting the camera, and like you could hear me saying like, hey man, I don't think I'm cut out for this. Like, I think we should go back. We should call a helicopter. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we end up getting stranded out there. I'm going crazy. I'm going like a little delusional. And then turns out we were just in the wash.
Yeah, in the backyard.
In
basically.
the backyard of somebody's house.
Yeah.
And then John was like, oh, I think that's my house right there. You know what I mean? Like, it was so stupid. But I was so proud of it. And you bringing up the fact that you posted that on YouTube, the hacked video, I was like, why the fuck did I never post that? Not that it was good.
You
not
put it
that
on Photo Bucket, dude.
I put it on Photo Bucket.
Photo Bucket over YouTube. But I do think, like, after that, we really tried to make, like, an action video. Like, we really were getting into, like, action movies at the time. I'm pretty sure, like, this would have been around the time that, like, we were going to see, like, for me, I was going to see, like, Cloverfields and, like, 300, things like that were, like, coming out around this time, I want to say.
Oh, I saw 300 in the theater. That shit was so cool.
But I just remember, like, we were like, let's choreograph fight scenes for our videos. We still never.
I know. Yeah,
like, we still never.
We did one.
Yeah, and
for a video where we almost got taken down by the cops.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But I think, like, after that, we were still in high school, and I remember, like, coming up towards the end of high school, there was, like, the film festival. I really don't want to talk about one of the movies we submitted, even though I put it on the list.
You should.
But we made this really just terrible piece of content called Jeff and the Magical Sombrero, and this is probably the first time I've talked about it in a public space.
Hey.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm going to get through it.
Proud of you. Proud of
this was before we had really learned, like, screenwriting, script writing, any type of thing. You were not. I don't think you were really involved in, like, the writing No, you were. Yeah, it was like you, me, and Devin who, like, made this movie together. Because you played a part in the movie.
So you had made it before, and then you remade it with me and Devin.
Yeah. So, like, it was a dumb joke about a guy who finds a magic sombrero that grants him wishes. And let me tell you how many wishes he made. One. You know what I mean? We tried to make it, like, really dramatic, and, like, it was a stupid idea. And if we kept it stupid, it would have been way more fun. You know what I mean? But this was definitely, and I can tell you that it was when we were watching, like, Lord of the Rings was coming out, because there were so many shots of Jeff walking. Yeah. And all I can think of is like, we were trying to capture Lord of the Rings in this shot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this ain't a commentary. Like, this is bad. Like, it was so bad. I can barely remember what happened in the story. I just remember that I think he wished for himself to be gone.
Yeah.
Like at the end, and that's how it fixed the world or something. I don't remember. You played like a magic genie type of person, which looking back on it is problematic. Genies and sombreros and everything, just so bad.
I was a genie
from
wearing a hoodie and jeans.
Yeah. Overall, there's a reason this movie is nowhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it was, people left the film festival during this because it was so bad, and we thought it was so funny. And I think we learned like a really big lesson, or we started learning a lesson, because
I got second place in that.
But that's just because everyone who voted were my friends.
Yeah.
Or part of the movie. But I just remember like getting like almost bullied from the older TV production kids about how bad it was. And I was like, never again.
Yeah.
Never again. And I was like,
never again.
The drums started playing.
You start running for no reason.
Yeah. And it's raining now. But I just remember after that making another movie the following year, and this is after you had transferred out of Mountain View, so you were really not like involved in a lot of the film stuff.
I went to the film festival.
You did that,
but I was not
in the movie.
A part of your project, which I was a little bitter about it, but like I understand why.
90% of it took place at school.
Yes, I know. But I will say that movie was significantly better than the year before.
Because of the running in the rain.
Yeah.
I wrote a script making fun of a conversation I had with my then girlfriend. And it was all making fun of Twilight. So I went and saw Twilight. I read a book. I wrote all these stupid little jokes. I did my research, guys. And the movie's called Twilighter. Yeah. And it's all about a Star Wars kid who falls in love with Twilight. Bad. And then realizes the Twilight movie was bad. And then gets mad at Twilight. And that's it. That's the joke. You know, it's like, the book was better than the movie as a movie.
Yeah.
Like,
can I make a confession?
Yeah.
Twilight's not that bad.
No, it's not. At the time, as a high school teenage boy, it was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Can I say something else?
Yeah.
The second one's not that bad either.
No, but the third one.
Third one kind of slaps too.
But I was definitely making fun of like my girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
Because she was obsessed.
As every
teenage girl at the time, right? It was a lot better that time around. That movie, it was significantly shorter. It had poorly choreographed lightsaber battles.
Yeah.
It had witty dialogue based on reading the Twilight books, watching the Twilight movie. I think it fell apart a little bit in the middle for a second there, and then it comes around, and like the cinematography level of Little Teenage Me at this time was I think peak.
Yeah.
Like
peak? No.
At this time.
Yeah.
Peak.
Okay.
You know, in this chapter 1 of our life story here.
Right.
I had like foreground, background things going on. I had like dolly shots and I don't know. I was doing so much work for this movie. And it won the film festival.
Yeah.
Like, no one left. Everyone was laughing. My teacher at the time was like, you should cut down the lightsaber fights a little bit long. And I said, okay. And I didn't. Because the lightsaber duel had to be longer. Do I know what I would have fixed now? Yes. There's so many things I would have changed and rearranged. And
wasn't it too long?
He said it was too long.
Wasn't the whole thing itself was too long?
What do you mean?
Like your limit was like 25 minutes and you were like...
I got it to like 22 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like that year like really had some heavy hitters with videos and stuff. And I don't know. I just feel like we like knocked it out.
Yeah.
I had a good time making it. It was really cool. Like, we had different locations and different actors, and it wasn't just like, oh, just say something funny.
Yeah.
Like, there was scripts and everything. Like,
Well,
I read
congratulations
books.
on that.
Oh, thanks, man. That was like 15 years ago. That video is still out on YouTube. It is heavily copyrighted. I think it's privated now, honestly. Because I also used all the music from the Twilight movie to make it even funnier.
Yeah.
But if you find it, let me know. There's also a Twilighter trailer out somewhere that has one of my favorite shots I've ever done that didn't make it into the actual movie.
I don't know how.
I forgot. But it's like he rips a poster off the wall into the
I was there when you
and-
made the trailer.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was a good time. But after that, like, I don't think we really did anything for a while.
We tried things here and there. So,
Yeah.
like, we did the Christmas movie. I feel like we tried to do a Christmas movie.
We've tried to do a Christmas movie like every 5 years now. It's like a damn presidential election type of
Yeah.
thing. You know?
Yeah.
It's like every 4 years we're gonna attempt it.
Yeah. That one.
I don't think we've just captured the right thing yet.
Yeah.
Like I think the last one that's on YouTube as well, the sweater weather one, that's later. I think that was probably our best one so far, but anytime I watch it, I'm like, oh, I would do so many things differently.
Yeah, but we literally were like, what are we going to do today? Let's make a video.
Yeah.
What are we going to make a video about? Well, it's Christmas time.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking about the first time or the sweater one?
The sweater weather.
And
we did that in like a 4-hour period.
And it was like 3 days after I got this camera.
Yeah.
And hadn't learned how to use it yet.
Yeah, so we thought of it, shot it, edited,
yeah, put it on
posted.
YouTube. Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, nothing there. We didn't have to worry about time frames. We didn't worry about tags. There's no tags on that video.
Yeah.
But that was way later. That was way later. Because I think at this time I was like, we had finished high school finally. Man, we've been going for 40 minutes and we're just getting through high school.
Oh, jeez.
Can you believe that? We might have to do a part 2 of this.
We could do a part 2.
I think a part 2 might have to happen for our college years. And by our college years, I mean when I went to college and you were there.
Sup?
There's so many stories where you were just there.
I was.
But let's finish just with the high school stuff then, because if we're gonna finish here, I have one more big story that I could talk about. Do you have any more stories about high school?
Not in high school, no.
Yeah, because you did all your journey.
Yeah.
After.
Yeah. My journey started after high school. No, my journey started when we were like in our 20s.
So we got time.
Yeah.
So I want to just touch on like there was like competitions and stuff for filmmaking and for TV productions in high school. And we had to do videos for this thing called Skills USA. Do you remember Skills USA?
Yes.
And
you guys went to like Memphis or something?
I'll get there.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right.
So regionals. We're doing regionals, right? Everyone talks about sports and everyone talks about like playoffs and all that kind of stuff. This was that for us.
Right.
Because our high school sports team sucked at my high school.
Right.
Bad. We went to regionals. We shot this really sick video like downtown. It was like me, Chris, John, and then someone else was in our group. I don't remember who it was. And we shot this really cool video about like going to these JTED classes to learn to be like a better you in the future, things like that, right?
Better you.
Yeah, there you go. I'm tying
me.
it in. But like we have this really sick idea of like taking like almost stills or like a frame with something reflective in it, and then we learned how to like put the video into that shape of like a puddle or a rear view mirror or something, and the video is in it, and like we did all these really cool shots, and we won regionals. Then we went to state, and then we did this whole big thing at state. We won state.
Is that backwards?
Was it backwards?
State, then regionals?
No. Regionals was Tucson.
Oh.
And then state. Then we won state.
Okay.
With a video similar. It was something like that. It was really like we shot in Phoenix, all that kind of stuff. We won state our senior year. It was me and Chris, producer Chris, for those of you for the show listeners.
Right.
And then we went to nationals for video.
Mm-hmm.
Like we went to Kansas City,
Missouri.
Which one's the cool one?
Missouri.
That one. Which one's better? And we stayed at this really cool hotel, and there was other because Skills USA wasn't just TV productions; it was everything, culinary and like all these other things, right?
Yeah.
And so our hotel was just like packed of I think Arizona peeps.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't know any of them because we were the ones from our school, you know what I mean? But we got to shoot this really I think it's really good. There's a lot of things that we could have done better. But we were interviewing people on the streets. We were hanging out downtown, doing all these fun things, and I think we placed 10th. And there was a lot of rules and a lot of things that we just didn't know about at the time. But that was the last thing I did in high school was the summer after graduation going to that championship.
Yeah.
So it was at this point in time, making videos was it. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to create things. I wanted to make movies. I wanted to do all this stuff. I didn't have a limit on what I wanted to do. I wanted to do everything.
Yeah.
And I think that was to leave it on a downer so you come back for part 2. That was my downfall.
That was your downfall, was you wanted to do it all.
I wanted to do it all. I didn't learn the things I didn't want to do yet. You know what I mean? I didn't learn the things that didn't spark a joy or whatever, like some of the aspects of filmmaking do for me now.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm sitting in front of a camera right now talking to you is one of those things that I just really just don't like.
Flashback to
what?
To the Cowardly Lion.
Mm-hmm. All the way back.
I don't want to do this, Grandpa.
We're tying it together. It's being in front of the camera is embarrassing for me most of the time. It just makes me feel anxious and I struggle to look at the lens. I always look at you because then I just feel like we're talking.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I have nothing to say because I have no props.
And that's why you're always in front of the camera.
You and me right here. Right here. Me there. Brendan there. Me. Brendan.
That's me. But yeah, I just I think that's about the time right after high school where I started putting it together, the things I actually want to do.
Yeah.
And you and me weren't really hanging out at this time, not because we weren't hanging out, but I think it was I did all the things during the summer, the video stuff and everything like that. And I think you were working at the time.
After high school?
Right after high school.
Yeah, I started working.
You started working, and then we got a job together. And everything changed.
Everything. We were together all the time again.
Hanging out,
driving to work together, making videos.
And then we started living together.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's where the first time. We started living together the first time. And there's a lot of things that now that I'm putting together, the first time we lived together, there's so many other things that aren't on our list that we need to add to this list. So this is where I think we should stop this episode. So
keep an eye out for part 2.
Part 2
next week.
Of the history of BJ in the morning.
The history of BJ in the morning.
And it's specifically a history of the podcast at this point,
Yeah.
The last time
creativeness.
it was us, our friendship or
history
whatever.
of us.
And this is definitely
the history of BJ in the morning.
What led us to BJ in the morning.
Yeah. So,
if you liked hearing me mainly talk about my life,
let's just say if you made it this far, and you want to keep an eye or an ear out for part 2.
Part 2?
Why don't you go ahead and hit that bell in the bottom corner of the...
It should be...
I
think it's over here.
Of the YouTube.
It's over here.
And I think you can hit notifications for Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff, right? And you can also
follow us
at BJ in the Morning _
at the following, which is Instagram, Twitch, which we still need to get on Twitch, TikTok, which is we need to stop. It's gonna go away.
Awkward. All right. And then if you're listening and not watching, you can head over to the YouTube
at BJ in the Morning Podcast.
Uh-huh.
And that's where you'll find the video if you want to watch the video before we decide to move them to like a paid program like Patreon where you can only pay to watch the video.
Or Photo Bucket.
Photo Bucket. MySpace? You want to hit them up on MySpace?
Yeah, hit me up on MySpace.
Dude, I remember posting all our YouTube videos, like embedding them into the MySpace page profiles, like coding that shit. I could not do that now. Like I just / /
You're just like
bracket, close bracket, open bracket. Like
I don't even know how we learned it. You know what I mean? Like we got so good at doing that.
I don't either.
It's a mystery.
Forums online before Reddit, 4chan.
They did a great job teaching a bunch of 14-year-old people how to program.
Just so your background was broken hearts with bleeding eye tears, while whenever someone clicked on your page, Helena by My Chemical Romance would start playing.
And you had a carousel of all the people that you were friends with.
Because if you only picked your top 5, you're
but a carousel of their picture and then a nice description of what you love about them.
And then one of those people would always comment like mine or something, you know. Property of XX RAR XXXD. You know what I'm talking about. What did they used to say?
They used to, if you posted a new picture or profile picture,
they would claim it.
They claim it, and then you would have to say, property of so and so.
Yeah, whoever's the first to
or
claim
mine, right? Yeah. And then you would have to put in your caption, owned by.
Yeah.
Brendan Atrocity or whatever your name was.
That wasn't it.
I think Artie Atrocity.
I think so. What was yours? It was always Ronald the Magnificent.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, we were part of that age group. We are part of that age group. Everyone had a MySpace with bangs over their face pictures, and I'm Just a Kid by Simple Plan playing. Life is a nightmare.
Yeah.
But
it sure is.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of BJ in the Morning. Be sure to follow us on all the places we told you to. We're not on MySpace. Don't go there. But yeah, tune in next week for part 2 of the history of our creative journey, man. This creative journey's got to take a part 2.
And I just got to let you know that I'm Juan.
And I'm Brendan.
And we'll
talk with you next time, my dudes.
You next time,
my dudes,
dude,
my pals. I swear every third light is slower, man. Just the hippie cars. You got it.
I got it.
His name's
I got
Fillmore.
I understand.
His name's Fillmore.
I get it.
Do you?
I got it.